John, a dedicated pharmaceutical salesman, was on a mission. He had heard that the scientists at the local engineering lab were always exhausted and barely had time to eat nutritious foods. Armed with a variety of energy drinks and nutritional supplements, he hoped to make a sale. When John arrived at the lab, he was warmly welcomed by the scientists. It turned out they were planning to get some medicines and energy drinks later that day. The head engineer, Dr. Emily, invited him into the lab and asked him to sit while she made a list of supplies the other scientists might need. Before leaving, she gave him a strict warning. "Don't touch anything." John nodded, and Dr. Emily left the room. After sitting for a while, John realized the room was hot and he was sweating. Luckily, he spotted the air conditioner's remote behind him. He grabbed it and tried to switch it on, but nothing happened. Frustrated, he hit the side of the remote and pressed different buttons, hoping to get the air conditioning system working. Suddenly, he heard a noise. He put the remote down and sat back, but it wasn't the AC that turned on. It was a portal beside him. John was shocked and, driven by curiosity, walked towards the portal. He heard a woman crying for help on the other side. Through the portal, he could see something on the ground, but the image wasn't very clear. He leaned in a bit to see better, and right then, the portal sucked him in and spat him out in another dimension. He got up and saw a beautiful lady in front of him crying. It seemed the portal's opening had pushed her carriage away, and her leg was stuck under a gate. John quickly lifted the gate, allowing the lady to slide her leg out. He then provided first aid to help her. Just as he finished, an army of women in primitive vehicles swarmed him and took him to their headquarters. As they walked through the building, John realized he hadn't seen a single man. When they arrived, he met a very beautiful woman who introduced herself as the president. She asked how he got there, and John explained his situation. Before she could respond, her assistant rushed in and yelled, "The situation has become worse. The cholera patients are in critical condition." John, being a pharmaceutical rep, offered his help. He worked tirelessly to save the women and shared many ideas he had learned from his world. Afterwards, John continued to help make many significant impacts in their society. The female president realized how important men were for their civilization, so the president called John over to his chambers one evening and said to him, "I have a very important request to ask of you, and you are free to refuse if you aren't comfortable with it." John asked her what her request was about. The beautiful female president stripping, and then said, "I need you to help repopulate the male species, and I'll be the first to help you start this project." John was shocked and a little bit excited. The real story begins now, and it's going to be fun.